Do you think it's wrong to hunt a person?
A person? No.
So, how about we work on, humans unaliving first before we work on, worrying about what animals we can eat or not?
Why can't we do both?
Of course we can, but there's priorities. What's more of a priority to you? Making sure that us
Well,
humans are
well, of
safe?
course, well, of course, humans are more of a priority, but the problem is that it's not a big deal to just go vegan. It's very easy. Anybody can do it.
Okay, but animals are on this earth, for one to make the earth better, of course, as we are, but some animals are here for us to eat as well. I mean, we eat animals, plants, we eat all of that. We're not just gonna stop eating something just because it's
Right.
hurting your feelings. Feelings aren't real, so you know what I mean?
Well, they are feelings are real, but
It's a chemical reaction, actually.
it's not about my feelings, it's about the animals, right? Animals are sentient, they're conscious. They want to live just like you and me do. They want to be free and happy just like me and you. They don't like to be harmed and abused. So, do you recognize that we don't have to harm them?
So you're gonna stop a lion from eating a gazelle?
No, because we're not in the wild, right? We're in society where we have stores and we have
Animals don't know that.
choices. We have the ability to make the choice. So why would you choose to harm them when you can just eat something plant-based?
Okay, because again, why should I have to choose some?
Okay,
Um,
well, do you think
we
it's
okay.
wrong? Do you think it's wrong to eat dogs?
I mean, yeah, I mean, we see them as pets now. I mean, I think it's morally wrong, but some people still do. But I think it's morally
Okay,
wrong.
great.
Yeah.
So you agree that it's wrong to eat dogs. Why is it such a stretch to think it's wrong to eat cows when they're the same
Um,
morally?
I guess pet dogs have been so much of a we brought them into our homes, made them pets, made them our companions. We saw how loyal they can be. I'm sorry. Did you want to have a cow as
Cows
a
can
pet?
be loyal. Yeah,
You
cows
want to
can be
bring a
pets.
cow
They're
in your
loyal
car?
too. Cows can be pets. They can be loyal, just as dogs can. Cows have feelings, emotions, sentience, consciousness, intelligence, just as dogs do. There's no difference morally.
You know what? You're right. But guess what? We just choose not to eat dogs, and that's just how the world is. We still choose to eat meat, and that's
Right.
it.
And how the world
So,
is, to me, is wrong. I think that is hypocritical, the way the world is. I think it's a
hey man.
more consistent view to say that no animal should be deserving of death.
Well,
That's the
guess what?
solution. The solution is to go vegan.
That's not the solution. Well, listen, the world may, a lot of people may hold their position as well. But no matter what, at the end of the day, the world is the world. It doesn't mean that we all should
But
go
we can
vegan.
change it. We can change it
How can we change it? Tell me one step.
by making better choices.
Okay, so because making better choices, but what makes you think that it's a better choice to not eat meat? That's an
Because
opinion.
it's not harming animals that don't have to die.
They're gonna die anyways.
No, because most animals that you guys slaughter in the factories are bred into existence in factories. They're not from the wild.
So
They
that
wouldn't die anyway, right? We purposely bred them to be killed. They didn't have to
oh,
die.
so they're immortal. They never will die.
No, you kill them for food. The point is that we continuously breed them into existence in numbers just for food for you guys. When we
Okay.
can stop doing that, right? A vegan saying, "Hey, let's stop doing this. Let's just eat something plant-based."
Okay, so you tell me dying, what makes unaliving so bad?
Taking away somebody's life, that's bad because life is valuable.
Okay. And what makes it valuable?
Sentience, experience, consciousness.
Is that an opinion or a fact?
Well, it's an opinion, but don't you hold the same opinion?
I hold that opinion, but
Great.
that's what
So
I'm trying to say.
why would you want to take away the life of a sentient being who didn't deserve to die?
Um, like I said, I mean, nothing's proving that life is valuable in the first place. I
Do you think,
assume it is. I
okay,
feel like it is.
do you think life is valuable?
In my opinion, I like life, but I don't think that it's bad to unalive or to
Great.
go away.
So why is it okay to unalive a dog? Why is it bad to unalive a dog, but okay to kill a cow for food?
Because of humans' emotions.
What do you mean emotion? What do you mean?
Emotions, the whatever the majority thinks. Usually, you know what I mean.
So
If
if
you're in
the
a group of 10,
majority of so majority thinks so if the majority of people thought that grape was okay, would you think grape is okay?
no, I wouldn't. No, it's not going to make change my opinion, but it's going to be a hard society to live in because if they think it's all okay, it's probably going to happen more often. And I can speak my word all I want, but I'm not going to feel comfortable speaking my word if everyone's against me. You know what I mean? And it's not
Yeah,
following the crowd either.
look, you're just yapping. Look,
I'm
this is
yapping.
very simple. You are causing harm to a sentient being who didn't have to be harmed. What justifies that cruelty?
My
Why?
hunger.
Why are you causing these animals suffering when you know they don't have to die?
Okay. Because again, my hunger. I need food to survive, right? So if I'm in the wild, I'm gonna have to go kill animals, correct?
Yeah, but you're not in the wild, are you? Right? You have a store next to you, right?
Right.
So you don't have to eat the animals. You can eat something plant-based and be perfectly healthy.
I mean, yeah, but then all the meat's gonna go to waste, isn't it?
Well, that's like, saying that, oh, if I don't eat this person, the meat will go to waste. Well, yeah, but it's still wrong to eat the person. Just because it would go to waste doesn't mean it's bad. It doesn't mean it's okay to do. But more importantly here, do you agree now that you don't need to kill an animal for food?
I mean, I know you don't need to kill an animal for food. I can go to
Great.
the
So
store.
what justifies doing that?
Listen, I'm not the ones killing animals, and that's the argument everyone's gonna make. But when it comes to that point, people are
But
gonna keep.
you're paying for it. You're still paying for those animals to be killed.
Man, listen. So you tell, and you're playing. Okay, and plants are being killed too. What's more valuable, plant life or
Well, plants are not sentient, so they're less valuable than an animal's life.
really? Because I believe there was a study that said that plants can actually fail and stuff like that. So
No, there was no such study. In fact, there's a study called Debunking the Myth of Plant Consciousness that actually debunks the myth of that. But more importantly, these plants have no nervous system, they have no brains, they have no nerve receptors, nothing. They have no capacity for pain in any way that animals can.
yet they provide more of a life experience to us than animals do, don't they?
No.
Oxygen, right?
Well, if you
Oxygen is
think
right.
that well, first of all, if you think it's wrong to kill plants because they might be feeling or sentient, well, then you should be vegan because vegans kill less plants.
Okay, so if you're in a globe, right? You're in a spherical place, and it's you and a bunch of other animals that are small that you can easily unalive, right? You're telling me right now that you're not gonna have the drive to go unalive an animal to eat it.
No, because I don't have to kill an animal right now, right?
So you're
If I was in the wild, sure, it's a different story. But we're not
okay.
in the wild,
So
so stop appeling to the wild.
we're not in the wild right
We're
now,
in
but
the
that's
real
our
world.
basic, that's our instinct,
We're,
that's where we come from,
but
that's
we
where
don't
we
have.
evolved.
But we have stores now. I don't know why this is so hard for you. We have stores now. We can choose to not eat the animals. We don't have to be in the wild anymore.
Correct. Again,
So why do you cause harm to the animals?
for
Why
the
do you
same
cause them
reason
abuse
that
and
when
suffering?
people come out of prison after serving a long sentence, right? They're still looking over their shoulder like no tomorrow. Like you know what I
Sure.
mean? They don't.
Look. Why do you want to cause harm and suffering to the animals? Why?
I don't want to cause harm and suffering to the animals. I
So
want
then
to
why do
eat
you do
meat.
it? Then why do
I
you
want
do
to
it?
eat meat. I want to eat meat. I'm hungry.
Okay, great.
I'm starving.
I'm hungry too, but I don't have to kill an animal for it. I can eat something plant-based.
Oh, we
I
know.
don't
You
have
know,
to
you can
eat.
you
I
can
don't have to
flock
eat animals.
you can flock with the birds. Just chill and eat. You know what I mean?
I, you're not.
Rift.
So
What's
look,
up, Rift?
you're being very dishonest here, right? I'm trying
Okay.
to show you that you have no reason to kill an animal, and you're saying I like the meat. I like the way it tastes. The only reason why you want to kill an animal is because of the taste. Is that your answer?
Because it could. Okay. Do you want me to bring up the freaking the protein facts and all that? Because I can bring that up too.
Plants have plenty of protein.
Okay. Like we said, vitamin B12. Where do you get that from?
Tempeh, tofu, nutritional yeast, mushrooms, fortified foods.
Okay. Doesn't tofu cause a bunch of animals to die as well?
No.
Okay. And what about creatine and everything like that that our muscles need?
Creatine is not an essential ingredient. It's actually produced by a liver in sufficient quantities.
Yeah, well, I'm pulling it up right now. Okay, but that's not true. But either way, it's not a sufficient amount of protein. So how can you
Yes,
get a
it
sufficient?
is. There's more protein in tofu. There's more protein in beans than most meats, especially
Like you
lentils and navy
cannot
beans and black beans per calorie.
The protein that you actually need in those plants, you can't find around your area. You'd have to go to the store that's, again, where they
That's what I'm
bring
saying. Again, do you know how much protein a cup of lentils has?
how much?
17 grams. That's very comparable to a counterpart meat product.
Okay, what about heme iron? Didn't we talk about this before? And you're like, oh, I can get iron, but heme iron activates differently. Heme iron activates in your
Yeah.
body differently.
Yeah,
It's
the
more
problem
important.
is,
It's
so heme iron, you can get heme iron from Impossible Burgers. You can get heme iron from there if you're that scared about it. But your body does not need heme iron. You can get plenty of iron from plants like spinach and greens and all these things have plenty of iron.
no. And where do you
Yes,
think that? Where do you
spinach
think that?
has so one serving of spinach has about 70% of your RDA of iron.
Bro. Okay, but again, how do you think that iron activates? You can eat as much iron, but it doesn't just activate. Like I said,
It
heme
does.
iron is what
So
activates better.
look, I have plenty of iron in my diet, and there's no research that says you have to get heme iron. There's plenty of iron in plants.
Okay, so if you go to a doctor right now and you get tested, you think everything's gonna be at perfect levels,
Yeah,
You're-
I literally just got a blood work done a few months ago. It's perfect levels. B12, iron, everything is perfect levels.
so you've been eating meat lately, huh?
No,
Welcome to the team,
I
Mike.
eat healthy vegan and healthy vegan foods, beans, rice, grains, pastas, fruits, vegetables. Those are healthy foods that give you plenty of nutrients. You don't need to kill animals to get nutrients.
Someone's been slipping you some meat, man. If you're that
No,
healthy.
see, now you're being very dishonest. You're not actually being honest here, right? Do you want to debate me or do you want to just cry and run away when you have no argument?
Oh my, crying because you're about to kick me. So Mike,
What justifies slaughtering animals to you?
again, when you look at it as slaughtering, it's your perspective on things, is it not?
No, you are objectively slaughtering animals by the billions in factories every single year. Cows, pigs, chickens are gassed to death in many ways in many practices. Many factories, they stuff animals in cages where they can't move. They sit in their own feces. They sit in their own shit. They sit in their own urine. It is not a good practice. I think it's wrong and should stop. Why do you support those things?
A lot of animals and insects die for vegan foods too. Like bees? What about that? What's wrong with that?
Yeah, how many insects die
Bees.
for crops? Do you know the number?
No, I don't. I can get a quick Google search, but I'm sure a bunch
exactly.
of them do.
Okay,
Just
I
gonna
know. Here's the numbers that we do know. 70% of crops are actually fed to not humans, but animals. Because guess what? Most crops in the world are grown for the animals that you eat. We have to feed them somehow. So most pesticides, most crops, most crop deaths are caused by meat eaters, not vegans.
Okay. Like we're saying, again, we need to eat meat, first of all. Well, we don't need to. I'm not gonna say we need to, because you can
Why do we
you
have to
can
eat
be
meat?
God, listen, man. Listen. Listen. So okay, so you're all this, vegan, that, right? Let's say that we didn't kill these animals. They would be eating more than 70% of our crops, right? And then you would have no leaves to eat. You'd
No,
be starving.
if it's so here, a study called Reducing Food's Environmental Impacts to Producers and Consumers, done by Oxford, it's peer reviewed, demonstrates that if everybody went vegan tomorrow, we'd actually save about 70% of land and crops because the animals that we breed into existence every year take up so many resources that if we all went vegan, we would save so much
That is
for
wrong.
us.
That
We
is
have
wrong.
way more.
That is 100%. Logically, it's incorrect that we would save more crops and land by being vegan.
You want
This
this
is
study?
because,
Do
wait,
you
hold
want
on. Let
do
me,
you want this study that shows you're
can I go
wrong?
into reasoning? That study's incorrect. Because if
Where?
saving those animals means more crops, then that's already incorrect. Because now
I never
it's
said more
to
crops.
eat.
I said we would retain more crops, not
How
we'd
would we
have more,
retain
not
more
we'd
crops,
generate
Mike?
more crops. We'd
Mike,
retain more crops.
Mike, logically, how do you retain more of something when you increase something that eats more of it? That doesn't make sense.
No, you're decreasing the amount of animals.
How
That's
you?
the point.
Yeah, I'm decreasing the animals. You're right, because I'm
No,
eating
you're
them.
not. No, we are. Vegans are decreasing animals. You
Yeah,
are
you guys
causing
are. You
more.
are decreasing the animals, right?
Look, you're confused. Listen. You, as a meat eater, are causing billions of animals every year to be recycled and produced in factories, right? So all those crops have to be grown every year to feed these animals. Whereas a vegan wants to stop that entirely. We want to say, hey, let's stop factory farming. This way, all those crops that we were previously producing for the animals are now retained for humans. Does that make sense?
I understand what you're saying. That does make sense.
Great. That's what this study showed. That's what the study I just cited shows you.
Do you know what my study says?
You didn't bring a study today. But nice
Okay.
try.
Okay. So then why is it that meat, okay, if you want to bring it to that level, if that's the case, meat is cheaper than all those healthier plant choices and
Oh,
stuff
really?
like that.
What's a bag of lentil beans cost you?
Okay. Somebody doesn't want to eat lentil beans all day. You know what I mean?
I don't eat lentil beans all day, sir. There's plenty of different produce. There's beans, navy beans, there's rice and pastas. All are cheap. The point is this: you don't have to be rich to be vegan. You can be very, middle class. You don't have to be. You can even be in poverty and poor. I'm not rich by any means. I'm still vegan.
Okay.
The cheapest foods on the planet are vegan.
Okay, but people who don't have as much money have a lesser, healthier supply of that vegan stuff that you guys need to eat. They have less of a supply. They don't have the money to buy all of that stuff.
But they
Therefore,
have the money to buy meat, but they don't have money to buy pasta and rice and beans, which are the cheapest foods on the planet. Doesn't make sense to me.
So you're telling me you think it's easy? So okay, is it okay if I go out there and unalive a deer by myself instead of these factories doing
No,
it
because
naturally?
that deer didn't have to die for you.
Okay, what if I live out in the freaking bushes though? Like I live out in Alaska or something where there's not stores and stuff like that. Does it change the concept?
If you're living out in Alaska and you have no other option, sure, you can make a case for that. But are you in Alaska right now?
So it's about what you approve as a case. What are you, a judge now? What is this?
No, see, veganism is not a perfect thing. It's not a perfect ethical system. It's all about what you can do, what's practicable for your situation. Do you have to eat meat? No, right?
Some people
No,
actually do.
do you have to eat meat?
Do I have to eat meat? No,
Great. So why do you cause harm and abuse to the animals for no reason?
because the government doesn't show us all of that. So it makes me think you can laugh.
What? The government doesn't what?
Well, maybe they need teachers like you in this world because I'm not so informed on
Yeah,
all of
that's why I'm here to expose the issues, to make you recognize that you're causing so much harm for no reason.
I
You can
pause.
change. You can
Pause.
do better. You can make a better choice because there's billions of animals who don't have a voice, who are suffering in cages. They can't speak up. But
So they
only
talk to you so you could talk to us, huh?
no, I recognize what they're going through and I speak up for them.
So you look at a moose and you say, "I feel you, dude," and you speak for him.
Yeah, if an animal's being clobbered or slaughtered or abused, I'm going to speak up against that. Why don't you?
I can see you staring a moose in the face. All right, so what about what about God is imaginary? God is not imaginary. That's
Wait,
my Christian Lord.
when you see a dog being beaten, do you think that's okay?
No, I don't. I love animals.
So how can you love animals and then eat them too? That doesn't make sense to me.
I love the taste. I meant to say the taste of animals.
Oh, okay.
No, I love
So
animals.
so you're saying what justifies slaughtering animals is the taste. Okay.
Listen,
What if a
no.
person, hold on, we can take your body and
No, I don't want to use
turn it
that.
sir, we can take your body and turn it into meat too. So what
No,
if
you'll go to
I like the
jail.
way your body tastes? Can we eat you now?
You're gonna go to prison, bro.
Oh, what if it was legal to do that? What if it was perfectly legal to be a cannibal? Would you still do it because it tastes good?
I wouldn't do it. Okay, because I wrote this down for you
Great.
before.
So just because
Okay.
something tastes good doesn't mean it's okay to do.
First of all, yeah, but listen, because humans can think about certain things and are motivated. Humans are motivated by their instincts, intellect, and logic. Animals are incapable of reasoning and are simply motivated by their instincts, right?
No, animals are capable of reasoning.
No, they are
Pigs are
not.
smart. Listen, pigs are smarter than babies and toddlers. They have emotional intelligence. They have IQs higher than dogs. Dogs are less intelligent than pigs and cows.
So you're telling me there was
They're
one
also
point.
very smart. They have much
Okay.
intelligence capabilities.
So
But is
you're
it
so you're telling me that at one point in your life, a pig was smarter than you.
yes?
And how many days ago was that?
When I was a baby. Same with you.
All right. So how is okay? Let's go to the God one because this one you might have that one in the bag. How is God imaginary though? How is God imaginary?
Oh, you want to pivot? Okay.
Yeah, I
I
want to pivot. I'll give you that one because I don't have enough of God.
Okay. God's imaginary because there's no evidence for it. And
There is.
when we
How is there no
assess the
evidence?
definition of God, it fails miserably and it tells contradictions and inconsistencies.
How is there no evidence of it? There's literally evidence right in the Bible. Smile,
Where
because I know you was
the
waiting for this
verse
one.
where the verse of the talking donkeys and talking snakes, that's the
Again, that's a figure of
voice of
speech. You got
God.
to remember the language back then is different from what it is now. They don't mean it literally. They used to say in the Bible, what were they saying about if anyone else is,
Okay.
away from God or does these acts, then you have to, cut your hand off and all this. Those are figurative speech. Those are not literal.
So maybe God's a metaphor.
God's a metaphor?
Maybe God's a figure of speech. Maybe God's not real. It's just a metaphor.
Incorrect. We have Bible. The Bible is the words of the
Okay,
people.
then how do you know that God is real and taken literally, but the talking donkeys and talking snakes and Noah's Ark and Adam and Eve, those are metaphors? How do you distinguish those two?
Okay, so you tell me, right? In my reality, I know that life comes from life, right? Life only comes from life. So life comes from non-lives. You came from a rock?
No, so we know that you're made of organic compounds like phosphates, lipids, proteins, amino acids, and these things are
Mike.
not alive. But when they come together, they form a living being. It's an emergent property of non-life. And this is called abiogenesis. This is how life comes from non-life, from organic compounds.
Incorrect. No, that's correct, but
I-
that's
i-
not how that's not how it started. You're not about to tell
Is
me
it
that
correct or
compounds
is it correct or incorrect? Which
the
one? I can
compounds
explain it.
lingered together and they made you, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, you're made of organic compounds
Yeah,
entirely.
okay. Again, of course you can take a plant and dissect it into what this is made of and what this is made of, but that's not what made the life. Mike, if you
Yeah.
think you can
What is
mix,
life? Sir, what is life?
you tell me what life is.
Life is a process. It is a biochemical process of replication and metabolism. And this is not something that is intrinsic to a particular atom or a particular element or a particular compound. It's an emergent process that arises when you have multiple particulars working together chemically. That's
Life.
what life is. Life is not an object. So you're confused here
How
because
am I
life is
confused?
what non-life does.
So when have you ever seen life come from non-life?
Every
When
day
have you seen the animate come from the inanimate?
well, we can do it in labs for one. We
Give me
can
an example
polymerize.
right now.
Sure, we can produce RNA in labs. We can polymerize RNA molecules from nucleotides and
Is
clay mineral phosphate surface. But more
RNA is not
importantly,
life.
it's a molecule that can be living. That's
It's
what
a
life
molecule you
is. It's a
find in the
process.
living. That doesn't mean it's life. In my experience, life comes from life. Is it more probable to think that
So,
in the beginning, matter
listen. Again, that's why I'm saying there is no one object that is alive. DNA is not alive, right? Do you agree?
yeah, I agree.
Great. So just because you have a molecule doesn't mean it's living. I agree with you there. But the point is that it is what produces life. That molecule can generate a living being as it interacts with other molecules.
Okay, so
That's
how do
what
you
we can do
explain
in labs.
consciousness?
But
How do you
more,
explain consciousness?
you're jumping to so many
Okay,
topics.
go ahead. Finish your topic. Go ahead.
Again, so we can produce cells in labs from lipids and things like this. We can produce living beings in labs. But more importantly, we have lots of evidence of abiogenesis. We have tons of studies and research on it. We can make amino acids in labs. We can make the building blocks of life in labs. And with enough understanding of chemistry, you can realize that life is a natural process. There's no need for God for life. What's your next question?
Hello?
Yeah, what's your next
Hello?
question?
Okay, so wait, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, it's a little delayed. Somebody called me. Like I was saying, how do you explain consciousness?
Another emergent property of the brain, of the nervous system, of bioelectricity in the body.
Mike, that doesn't even make sense. Okay, I will prove to you God exists if you first prove to me that you really perceive reality through your two eyes.
What?
I will prove to you that God exists. If you can prove to me a fact that proves that you are really you're perceiving reality through your own eyes.
We don't need to prove that I'm perceiving
How do you
reality
know that you're seeing reality?
because I can observe things.
You can't prove to me your reality is real.
Why do I need to prove anything to you?
Are you in reality right now?
Yeah, I seem to be. I'm not, I
Okay.
don't claim to have epistemic access to absolutes about my existence.
Okay. So
But
if you're in reality,
what I am claiming here is that there is something we're perceiving. The problem is you're making a specific claim that God exists, and that claim is yet to be substantiated.
okay, God exists. I can't prove it so much, but you're saying reality exists, but you can't prove it so much. So there's my dilemma right there. Just because you can't prove something.
When did I ever
Mike,
say?
hold on. I was talking, Mike.
Listen. When did I ever say I can prove reality?
Is it real?
What does that even mean?
So you can't prove reality.
There's something that exists. I can't prove what it is, but I know that something exists. I'm
Well, I
actually
can't
certain that something
prove
exists.
God, but I know it exists. It
Prove
seems
it.
like you're stumbling right here.
Show me that God exists.
Show me that your reality exists.
But we are here talking to each other.
But how do you know? Can you prove to me that it's real?
Yes, we're talking to each other right now. That's
Okay, and
reality.
I'm praying to God, talking to God.
Okay, what's the difference between praying to God and talking to an imaginary friend?
You're not getting me because that didn't make sense. Rearrange that question.
What's the difference between God and an imaginary friend?
One of them's real and one of them's imaginary. You said
What's
imaginary.
the
You just
difference?
said it.
Demonstrate the difference.
God is known to be able to hear your prayers. An imaginary friend is somebody you're making up. That's why it says
that's a claim, sir. I'm asking you how you know that God talks to you.
God doesn't talk to me. I talk to God. God speaks through actions.
Okay,
and
how do you know you're talking to God and not just yourself?
the same way that you know that you're really perceiving reality.
I don't claim to have absolute knowledge about reality. What I'm claiming is that there are some things that we can know with certain degrees of knowledge. There are some claims like the sky is blue that we all can agree about, right?
We can go outside and see that the sky is blue.
Do you agree that the sky is blue?
I can go and see it myself. It's blue.
Exactly. That's how I ground my knowledge in evidence and observation. Now, when it comes to your claim about God, there is no observation or any grounding in your belief in God.
Okay, pause. So you see, you just said it yourself. You ground say it again, your what in evidence and observations?
I ground knowledge in
You ground knowledge and evidence and observation. Okay, so you have no knowledge in your reality, so therefore it's not real. We're not in reality.
I do have knowledge of reality. It's just not absolute. It's maximal.
So then it's not real. If you
mean?
can't prove to
How
me
does
your
that
reality,
follow? Sir, listen. How does it follow that because I don't have absolute knowledge, I don't have knowledge? How does it follow?
because you're doing my words aren't coming through right now, but you're doing, what is it? When you say one thing and then you can't apply it to all, you're being some type of hypocrite.
Look. You're very confused here.
How am I confused?
Are you sure that the sky is absolutely blue?
I'm sure that the sky is blue because I can go outside.
Are you absolutely certain?
I mean, sometimes the sky can be red.
No. Are you absolutely certain that the sky is typically blue?
Typically blue, yes.
You're absolutely certain. Are you sure you want to go there? Are you sure you want to say that? Are you sure you want to say that?
I'm certain that it appears to me that the sky is blue.
Yes, you're certain, but are you absolutely certain?
Absolutely, yes.
Oh, so you've discounted the fact that you could be a brain in a vat, that this could be an hallucination, that this could be a dream, that this could be a simulation. You've discounted all those things?
No, because I believe in God and I believe in reality,
No.
which you can't believe in reality because you can't prove it.
Is it possible that we're in a hallucination and that the sky's not actually blue? Is that possible?
No, because I know that I'm in reality because I believe
How do you
things.
know that we're not in a simulation?
Because I just said it. Let me finish this up real quick. I believe that I'm in reality because I have faith that it's reality, that I'm perceiving reality. You don't have faith. Hold on, wait, Mike.
Great.
Mike, hold on.
So you have faith, right?
You don't have faith in reality because you can't prove it. Like you said,
So your argument is I have faith in it. Okay, well, how about I have faith that your God doesn't exist? Do I win now because I have faith in it?
It's not just about the faith. I'm saying you don't,
Okay,
but
then
you
what
don't
is
have,
it?
you
Then
don't
what
believe
is
in.
it? What
Mike,
grounds
you
your
can't say
absolute
that.
knowledge?
Mike, you can't say that because you don't have faith in things. Like you said, you can't
But
use that
faith,
argument. You
but
don't
faith,
have faith. You're
but
scientifically based.
listen. Faith does not ground knowledge because it's not a very consistent way to knowledge. Because just as you have faith in God, I can have faith in no God, and our two competing hypotheses have the same merit.
Okay, but they have faith in something else. Like you can't use that argument when
What?
you just said. How are you going to use arguments like that when you're the one who just said that you are based on
Listen,
science and facts?
listen.
You can't use that argument.
Listen, honestly speaking, I do not have absolute epistemic access to truth about reality because I cannot discount the fact that I could be a brain in a vat. This could be an illusion, that
So
this
how,
could be a hallucination. I cannot discount that because I'm not beyond myself to know that.
so is it
But
real?
however, we can ground what we observe and call that reality for the time being. And in this reality that I think we both share, where we're talking to each other on the phone, I think in this reality, there is no evidence of a God. There's no observation, there's no synthetic or analytical data that substantiates a God. Do you have any evidence of God? Because all you've done so far
I
today,
have evidence of God. I have evidence of God.
what is it? What is it?
WZ in the chat. I have evidence of God. Ready? Y'all ready for this right now? I'm about to drop it on you. Don't go running away because you can't answer this question. Ready? If life, if you're smiling because you're ready to get approved, like you're like, yes, he's about to convert me. You ready? I see you getting happy. And if proof of God, right? So life comes from life. Like I said, I don't care what you want to say about molecules. Life only comes from life. And then we have order and design, right?
All right.
Our bodies.
All right.
Look at our
So,
bodies. Look at our bodies. Look at them. Look at how complex they are.
wow, I have
I know.
10 fingers. Oh my God.
You probably got 11, and you'll
That means
probably
God
argue
is
that.
real.
You know what,
Okay.
Mike? Something tells
So,
me if you had 11 fingers, you'd make.
okay. So your argument was life can come from non-life, which is a question-begging argument, which is false as well. But more importantly, your second argument was order and design. Now, Zay, tell me, is God orderly?
Yes.
Okay, so your logic is that God was designed because God's orderly, right?
That makes you the
Wait, are you
God
saying that there are
is
things that are orderly that are not designed?
no order in design points to an intelligent mind. Okay.
What points to design? The order, right?
No. Order in design points to an intelligent mind. That was my claim.
Okay, so you're saying anything that's orderly requires a design.
Yes.
And God's orderly, which means God was designed by your logic.
You know what? Maybe I'm wrong about that one. Let me backtrace a couple steps. Not every obviously God is above all, bro. Listen to me. Don't Zay explain that nothing. Drink your water because I bet you, where do you think that water bottle came from?
Not God, for sure. It definitely came from the earth.
Well, guess
Which
what? The clothes on
produced by
the
natural
clothes on your
process.
body right now. Where do you think all that came from?
I like how you're crying because you have no answer.
I'm
for
not
that question I
crying.
just told
There's no
you.
tears coming out of my eyes. I do have
a
an answer.
refutation? Do you have a refutation for us today? Or you're going to cry about it.
Okay, you want me to answer your question?
You have 10 seconds, or I'm going to kick you off.
I'm gonna kick you. Listen, I'm gonna tell you this right now. Order and design points to an intelligent mind, right? Order and design, our bodies, the world, how
Question beg your
everything
way
works,
out of this.
everything
You
cause
cannot
and
question.
effect.
You can't just refute. You can't just continue cycling this argument over and over again. It's not going to work on me. Your argument is self-refuting because God requires design under your own logic.
No, that doesn't. Life, in my experience, always comes from life. You can never get
Yeah,
the
your
animate from
experience is never.
inanimate.
Your experience is so limited. You've never been in a science lab where we
Okay,
actually
last
have been
question for
down
you,
there.
Mike. Is it more reasonable to believe in the beginning that there was God, or is it more reasonable to believe that in the beginning, matter and energy?
There was no beginning.
So okay, but the universe. Okay, is the universe expanding constantly?
It seems to be expanding, but the universe that we observe is not the totality of the universe that could be existing. There could be an exterior to our observable universe, which isn't always existing.
How is there? Okay, Mike. How is there no beginning? What is time? Does
Oh,
time not keep ticking?
oh, I'm not saying that there's no beginning To our local universe, sure,
What?
but there's no beginning to the totality
That
of
doesn't
existence.
even make sense. Okay, now you're losing because that don't make sense.
Listen. Existence in totality could be some kind of space-time that goes on infinitely speaking. It could go on forever in time and in space. Our local universe could be a bubble. Think of a bubble bath with a bunch of bubbles in there, right? Our little bubble can be popping, and that could be the Big Bang, but there could be other bubbles out there beyond ours in a larger landscape, meaning that that landscape could be infinite. And ours is just a sideshow.
So, like I said, time is constantly going on. Correct or wrong?
Time is not moving. That time, the idea that time passes is an illusion, as Einstein demonstrates with relativity. Time could be static in the sense that it's the eternal dimension of our 4D universe. Yeah, so does that answer your question?
Yeah, that answers my question. That answers my question. But I have another question.
Yeah.
So, how do you think the universe? So, do you believe in the Big Bang theory?
The Big Bang is evidenced by many pieces of data that we can see, like the CMB radiation. Yeah, it's a fact.
Okay, so what do you think caused the Big Bang to happen?
Okay, is this going to turn into a Q&A because this is ridiculous? I didn't feel like being Bill Nye today, right? The Big Bang was caused most likely by quantum fluctuation. It has to do with quantum mechanics. There's no evidence of a God doing it.
So, you know what it is,
Do
Mike?
you have evidence of God before I kick you off?
I have evidence of God. He's right here. Ready? Y'all want to see something? In God we trust. Right?
Wrong. Next.
Nigga, go suck my dick, pussy ass nigga, go suck my dick right now.
Hey, what do you got?
I'm very sorry about the interactions you've been having. I don't really necessarily dispute your sentiments. I would only say, not necessarily that God is imaginary, but to think of God as kind of like a predecessor to science and the way that humans were trying to just like understand the world around them. And I think a big part of the reason why people continue that faith and that delusion
All right,
is
ma'am,
just
ma'am.
because of
Do
tradition.
you, this is a debate stage, right? So do you have an argument for us today or?
No, I understand that. That's all I wanted to say, just in case people were coming on here.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate your help, but I don't really need your help. Thank you. Hey, what do you got?
So I've also not a huge believer in God and everything. I believe humans cause climate change. My argument for you is that veganism is not the optimal way of living, and there's science that backs it. And your argument of, well, farming animals is the most cruel thing on the earth, and that veganism actually does nothing necessarily severe impact on the earth is completely wrong.
Yeah, so veganism is about ethics. It's about not harming animals as much as you practically can, as much as is practicable. It doesn't mean you're perfect. It doesn't mean that no animal dies or that no crops die or that nothing bad happens ever. That's not what our position is. So recognize that you are causing harm to animals and you have no justification for harming animals. So what's your justification for harming animals that don't need to die?
But veganism also does too. And like there's multiple sciences that back that up.
Listen. Veganism
But I'm
is
saying
not.
your veganism requires an extreme amount of farming
No, it
to
doesn't.
increase
No,
the.
it doesn't.
Yes, it
It
does.
doesn't. No,
It
because
does.
what
There's
percent
actual
of,
science based.
listen,
There's science
sir,
based back
sir,
that.
listen. What percent of crops in the world are grown for humans?
That's not true.
I asked you a question, sir. What
And I'm
percent of
telling you
crops,
what you're
what
saying is what
percent
percent.
of crops are grown for humans?
77.2 million acres of
Sir,
crops are
can you
used
please engage
for human
Sir, can you
are
please
used for
engage in the
human
conversation?
consumption,
What
which is
percent of crops, sir, listen,
22 to 30% of crops are used for human consumption.
okay, and what percent of crops are used for animals? We're talking 70%, 60 to 70% of crops are for animals. So
Okay.
Most crops in the world are grown for your animal feed, not for humans, right? Does that make sense now? You're causing way more harm to the animals. You're causing way more crop deaths. You're causing way more destruction to the environment
But
and the
again, that's not true. And there's an article that completely backs that and supports it. Let me look the exact title.
yeah. I'd love to see the study on this that demonstrates vegans cause more harm.
Yeah. So if you look up the article "Field Deaths in Plant Agriculture," the amount of animals killed every year for just plant agriculture, which is again 30% of that is used for human consumption. It's about 7.2 billion animals are killed, and that's excluding the insect population
Yeah.
in
So that study
farming
actually
land,
showed.
farming on land that's used for human consumption.
Listen, if
They
you actually,
isolated that.
sir, listen. I know the study you're mentioning, and actually, that study that you just mentioned actually demonstrates that only 2 animals per acre die for crop fields. In actuality, that study was refuting another study, another article that was mentioning those numbers, 7 billion. But if you look at the study further, they conclude that only about 2 to 3 animals die per per acre, because guess what? Most of the animals that come onto the farms, they die not intentionally, not because of the farmer's fault, but because they go into the fields, they eat, and the predators come and eat them, right? They die for that reason. So
No,
again,
the article
you're not
article
recognizing that
states
most
that.
crop deaths are not intentional. No crop deaths are intentional as a vegan. I don't intend to cause any harm to the to the animals that are dying in crop
But the
fields. I can't
farming
control
methods
that.
used,
But what you
but the
can
farming
control,
methods
but what you
used,
can control is the amount of animals that you slaughter every year. 90 billion animals are slaughtered every year for meat eaters. That's a fact. And that could
but
be
the farming
stopped
techniques
easily.
used have been found and proven to kill multiple animals with the extreme amount of
Sir, did you
pesticides
not
and
hear?
all
Listen,
the.
you're not listening to the studies.
You're not listening in the sense. You're not listening in the sense.
I just gave a number. I said 90 billion animals die every year for meat eaters, not including the animals in crops. You gave 7 billion. Even if that number was correct, which it's not, you haven't read the study, then guess what? That's only about 9% of the amount of animals, or about 10% of the animals that are dying for meat eaters. So meat eaters are causing way more death than vegans. That's the point here. I understand that some animals are going to die in crop fields. That's inevitable because guess what? We have to eat something. I'm not going to starve to death. But guess what? You have a choice to minimize harm, but you're not doing that. Why? What justifies slaughtering excess animals? Why?
Because so like this of your number is smaller than a meat eater's number, so it's justifiable for you. But studies and shows,
No,
and I
that's
read that
not what
article.
I said. That is not exactly what
You
I'm
just
saying.
said that. You just said
What I'm saying is that
the
your
number
argument.
of crops, the number of animals
No,
grown is
no, no,
seven
no.
point three.
Listen,
I just
listen.
read the article again as you were talking.
Look, you're strawmanning me. I have to correct this. I am not a vegan just because we kill less animals than meat eaters. But your argument collapses because your argument is that, oh, you're still killing animals. Yeah, right. But the point is that way less are being killed by vegans. And that's a reason to not be a meat eater, right? So what justifies slaughtering animals when you know they don't have to die and you know you're causing more than necessary? What justifies that? There's hierarchy in life. Yeah, but we don't have to harm the animals. No matter how smart or intelligent we are, how high we are on the ladder, it doesn't mean we have to kill anybody. We don't have to kill the animals, right? They're being abused, they're being slaughtered.
We do have to kill animals. That's how the world works.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
but we don't have to kill those animals that you kill in
we
factories.
do. And
No, no, no. Why do you have to kill cows? Why do you have to kill pigs and chickens? Why?
consumption, meat consumption. And,
Sir, you're cutting out. We can't hear you.
can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Okay. So meat consumption is actually more optimal for the vitamins, the nutrients, and the supplementation that we get from our food.
Great. So name me one vitamin that I cannot get as a vegan.
A lot. Meat is responsible for
Name me one.
most of our
Name
B12
me one.
consumption.
Just name me one vitamin that I cannot get as a
B12,
vegan.
B12, and creatine, which are
Okay,
both
B12.
necessarily.
Okay, great. B12. B12 is found in tempeh, tofu, a nutritional yeast, fortified foods, mushrooms, duckweed, all have B12 in them. And creatine is not an essential nutrient. It is produced by our livers in sufficient quantities.
But it's necessary for muscle growth and development of muscle tissue.
Our bodies make enough of it, just like cholesterol. It's not
Our bodies
essential.
don't make enough of it.
Yes,
Our bodies make enough of it if you're living a very basic. If you're living a very basic life, then it does. If you're living a life of
listen. Creatine is not an essential nutrient. Our bodies make enough of it. That's why it's not essential. We don't have to get it from outside of our diet.
Again, our bodies only make enough of it if we're living a very basic, simple, get on the couch, get up, go to work lifestyle.
No, our bodies make enough of it no matter what.
If you're an athlete of any kind, a strong man, any kind, your body needs an additional amount of creatine.
There are vegan strongmans like Patrick Bowman, who was a vegan. He was perfectly fine. There's no evidence of what you're saying is true.
There is evidence. If you look at a person on a meat diet, they are stronger by nature because of meat.
No, they're not. That's nonsense. Where's your study on that? There are vegan bodybuilders who can outlift your ass any day of the fucking week.
Name me one. First of all, that's not correct. Name me one person in the history of, let's just say strongman, for instance. Name me one person who's ever set a world record or outlifted every person in the world who's a vegan.
Patrick Bowman.
That's one of how many? Eddie Hall. Strongman.
Yeah, guess what? He was a vegan. He was a strongman. He broke world records. He broke world records. Sir, you're being so disingenuous.
You listed one person.
I named one person.
Okay.
You're being very dishonest now. You asked for one person. I named you one person. I agree with you that most bodybuilders are not vegan because most people are not vegan. But the point is that it's possible to be vegan to be strong. You don't need to eat meat to be strong. So either give a good argument against ethical veganism or go away. We're not talking about bodylifting right now or weightlifting. We're talking about ethics. So let's get back onto the argument. Please. You're going out of you're just talking about nothing. Give an argument against ethical veganism.
The argument, again, is soy farm lands kill animals that live on the land. Okay. Massive amounts of growing crops.
Sir, that's not an argument against veganism because vegans understand.
It's an argument against the fact that you're saying that killing animals is not good because we're killing more animals than vegans are responsible for killing. You're killing a large amount of animals.
Look, you don't understand what veganism means. It's not about being perfect. It's not about killing no animals. No, stop and listen. Shh. Veganism is not about being perfect. It's about doing what you can to minimize cruelty as much as you practically can. Again, most soy, you talk about soy, 95% of soy is grown for animals, not for humans. Only 5 or 6% is grown for humans. It's not soy that's the problem. It's you, the meat eater, killing many billions of animals per year. That's the problem. You're causing climate change. You're causing destruction to the environment. You're causing so much harm to the animals, so much suffering and abuse for no good reason. What justifies this? Why are you being so cruel and abusive? Give an argument.
We're not being cruel and abusive, and we're not the only, meat eaters aren't the only responsible for climate change.
You're gassing animals to death. You're gassing animals to death in slaughterhouses. That's not
veganism is helping for that too. So there's California and Mexico are the two main places.
No, sir. Look, you're
I'm saying no.
Look.
So in order to get your avocado, in the state of PA,
you're missing the main point. The main point you keep missing is that 90 billion, guys, we're talking 10 times the amount of people on the planet. 90 billion. Think about that number. That amount of animals are being killed every year in factories for no fucking reason. That's a problem that you have to face. Justify that or go away. Stop resorting to these two coquet fallacies. Oh, but animals die on farms. I know that. And vegans know that because we're not perfect. We are not perfect. But we can do what we do best to minimize animal suffering. That's what you're not doing. That's the problem here. So give an argument against ethical veganism. You're not doing it so far.
I'm trying to tell you that your argument side is, well, our number is lower than yours, so ours is more ethical than yours. That's the only argument you're giving to it. Just because your number is lower doesn't mean you're not impacting in some sense. Just
Okay.
like your climate change argument, as in
That's not
we're the reason for
that's
climate
not what
change.
veganism. Again,
You
this
said
is
we're
not
the reason for climate change being
this
what
is
it is.
not what veganism is. You're not understanding. It's not utilitarianism. It's about minimizing harm, but doing it in a practical manner, though. But more importantly, do you agree that it's better to kill less animals than more animals? Do you agree?
No.
So you think it's better to kill more animals?
Yes.
Okay, so why is it better to kill more animals than that are not necessary? Why?
Because animals help feed more people than just plants do per year.
Wrong.
They have a longer.
That's incorrect. So here's another study.
It's not incorrect at all.
It is.
It's a more sustaining food too.
Let me show you. So here's a study called Reducing Food's Environmental Impacts to Producers and Consumers, and it shows that because 70% of crops are grown for animals, if we all went vegan, we would actually have more food. We'd actually save more food and save more land if we all went vegan. We'd have more food for us to eat. So you're wrong in every way.
But it's not sustainable food for our bodies.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Veganism is sustainable.
We're not gorillas. We
I
don't
never
process.
said you were, sir. I never said you were. Stop straw
We
manning
don't
me.
process vegetables in the sense that we can live off of them directly under a certain amount of food.
Yes, we
Meat
can.
is more
Look,
sustainable to our body.
Sir, stop talking and listen.
You keep shushing me just because
Because you keep yapping. You keep yapping. Listen,
your
you're
argument makes no
wrong.
sense.
Here's why you're wrong.
Your argument makes
Here,
no
a
sense.
study done. Look, the position of the Academy of Dietetics and Nutrition. These are medical scientists and doctors and nutritionists around the world, and their position is that vegan diets are sustainable and suitable for all stages of life. These are experts talking. This is science talking. This is a study.
Science goes in the opposite direction of that. Multiple.
Oh, really? So give me one study that says I can't be vegan.
I never said that you cannot be vegan.
Okay, great. Show me that I can't be healthy as a vegan.
The National Institute of Health literally just put out an article this year saying that the exact opposite of meat is more optimal for living on a day-to-day basis than just eating a plant diet only.
Okay, so do you have an actual study that demonstrates that we can't be healthy as vegans? Do you have that?
I never said you can't be healthy as a vegan. I never once said that.
Oh, great.
I
Thank
said-
you. Great. So then you agree that we can be healthy as vegans. We don't have to kill animals, and you're killing more. So what justifies that?
Institute of Health said in an article, it's huge. They just put it out this year. Again, your scientists, your quote unquote scientists, put out the article saying that meat is more optimal for, again, muscle growth, strength,
Me?
pretty much.
Okay, what's this study called?
I'm looking up the exact title right now because every time I get off the app, it cuts my microphone. So I'm looking up on my laptop.
You should have it in front of you. So you just gave it to me. You should have the study.
I have it on my phone, but every time I click off of the app, it tells me that I can't use my microphone. Where I was listening with the last guy, let me actually.
Yeah, so the reason why I'm asking you because I'm skeptical that it's about meat. Maybe it's about amount of protein, and there are vegan bodybuilders, Nemo Delgado, Torres Washington, Patrick Bowman. These guys are super strong. They're big. They're fit. They never eat meat. Literally, they never eat meat in their fucking life. Nemo Delgado never ate meat in his entire life, and he's way bigger than you. So, what's your point here?
He's way bigger than me based on. Hold on. First of all, he's not natural bodybuilder.
Oh, yes. Okay. Well, yes, he is, but neither is many other bodybuilders who eat meat. So that's
Okay, so I have it right here. It's called The Role of Meat in the Human Diet, Evolutionary Aspects and Nutritional Value. It says meat supplies high quality protein and various nutrients.
Hold on. The role of what?
The role of meat in the human diet, evolutionary aspects, and nutritional value. It's written by the.
Okay, great. Yeah, so
Brendan?
this study is talking about, first of all, this is not a study. Actually, it is. I'm sorry, it is a study. This study is not showing us about modern day meat. It's talking about how we evolved with meat. It has nothing to do with being strong today. This study is talking about how we
And
evolved.
the implications at the top, it tells you how meat plays a pivotal role in your diet today.
Yeah, but it doesn't actually say that.
Aspects of human anatomy, digestion, metabolism diverge from other primates. Like it tells you there's step by step. Meat supplies high quality protein
Yeah,
and various
so
nutrients.
this study does not say we can't be vegan. It says
I
that we
never
can
said
still.
you can't.
Great. So then you agree that this study doesn't show us that we can't be healthy as vegans. You can still get those other nutrients that to be accounted for from vegan products. This study doesn't show us that they can't be healthy as a vegan because I can get B12 from tempeh tofu. I can get omega-3s from nuts and seeds and beans. I can get retinol from sweet potatoes and fruits and vegetables, iron and zinc from beans and nuts. I can get all those things that the study mentions through vegan foods.
But what I'm saying, my argument was one, you can't just say eating meat is bad because we kill more animals or we're responsible for killing more animals based off of just that. I never said you can't be healthy being a vegan.
Look, I have yet to hear an argument from you about ethical veganism being incorrect.
I never said it was incorrect. All I said was that eating meat isn't bad.
What justifies harming animals then?
The fact that people use meat in their diet for one, price point is actually a lot better than loading your refrigerator up with tons and tons of vegetables, tofu, and all that other extra, going out and buying extra supplements in powder form, pill form.
That's false. We don't have to buy all extra food. I eat as much food as you do. It's nonsense.
One bag of spinach at price point is actually more expensive than 1 pound of ground beef. And the ground beef lasts longer because if you freeze a bag of spinach,
is like $1. Sir, a bag of spinach is like $1.50.
At my grocery store, it's $3.
Okay, $3 is not bad for a bag of spinach, which can last you for a week.
Okay, and I can take pounds of beef again at a lower price point per quantity, freeze them, and have them for much longer. So I can make one trip.
What's a bag of lentils cost you at your store?
I haven't eaten lentils in probably 10 years, and that's because my parents forced me to. I have no idea.
Well, typically in stores, they're about $1 or $2 per bag, and those bags can last you for like 2 months, right? So the point is you can get all the protein you need very cheaply, very affordably on a vegan diet. You don't need to eat meat to be healthy. You don't need to eat meat even if you're broke. It doesn't matter. You don't have to eat meat, period. So what justifies doing that?
Yeah, meat feeds more people at price point than vegetables do. At price point and lasting.
That's incorrect.
It's true.
No.
And all right.
Listen.
If I go to the grocery store,
I just explained to you that lentils are cheap, sir. I just explained.
If I go to the grocery store and I buy $50 worth of meat, and you buy $50 worth of vegetables, how long is your vegetables going to last compared to my meat?
This is a false dichotomy. It's not either meat or vegetables. You're missing all types of beans, nuts, and pastas and rices and grains. All have protein in them as well. You're not understanding that I don't just eat vegetables. That's not what I eat.
I'm not saying that you just eat vegetables. I'm saying price point per meat, and as long as it lasts.
Listen. The point is that you don't have to eat meat. I can get all the protein I need on an affordable way as a vegan. Lentils, beans, these are very cheap foods. Pastas, I can get a whole box for like $2 at the store. The point is that you can still be vegan and still be perfectly healthy without being rich. You don't have to eat meat at all.
And you don't have to eat vegetables.
What?
Look at people who are on the carnivore diet. Look at people who are on the carnivore diet that are just.
Stop and listen. The point
You keep cutting me off every time I make a point.
You're not making any points today. You think you have a point, but you don't. My point is that you're harming animals for no fucking reason. You're causing so much suffering to others. What justifies your abuse? Look, you keep forgetting the elephant in the room. You're abusing animals. Why do you do this? What justifies slaughtering animals when you don't have to? You can get vegan foods affordably. Why? What justifies slaughtering animals? Please.
The hell just happened? Again, slaughtering animals is to provide food. That's it. Like that's the justification behind it. It provides food.
Okay.
Farming.
Okay, great. So what if? Okay,
Farming
great.
for
So what?
vegan?
Shh, quiet. What
Bro,
if
every time I give you one word of an answer, then you cut me off and mute my mic.
Shh. You said because it feeds us. Well, what if we took? But so does your body. Your body could feed us. Would it be okay to eat somebody's body because it feeds us?
Some places they do that. In some countries they kill people and eat the people.
Oh my gosh, sir! I'm talking to you. Do you think it's okay to kill
I'm just-
somebody for food?
Me personally, no, but there's cultures that do it. Is what I'm saying.
So just because something
it's not okay for me,
great. So
doesn't mean
just
it's okay
because
for someone else.
great. So just because something feeds us doesn't make it good to do, right?
For some people, it does. Is what I'm saying. Like you're
Oh
saying
my
that
God, sir! I'm
you're
talking
one-
to you. Look, I don't care about other people. I'm talking to you. Do you recognize that just because we can eat something doesn't mean we should eat it?
Yeah, but again, it's the same thing for
Okay,
vegetables
great.
and beans and
So
stuff.
then your argument collapses because you don't have to eat the meat. You don't have to eat the meat. So why do you cause abuse?
You don't have to eat vegetables and everything else to live
Oh
just
my
fine.
gosh, bro, you're missing the point. I know I don't
I'm
have
not
to eat
missing the point.
vegetables, but
I'm
I have to
saying
eat something.
my
Look.
choice. My choice to
Oh my God. I have to eat something. But the point is we have choices. We have a choice to either slaughter an animal, cause it abuse and suffering, or eat plant-based. So what's the better choice? Causing suffering and harm that's not necessary, or eating a fucking cucumber? What's the better choice to you, sir? Come on, this is not calculus. It's very simple. Just answer honestly. What's the more ethical thing to do?
for me to get my meat and kill that animal. That's ethical for me.
Okay.
My
so
ethic points
why
are
is it-
different than your.
So why is it ethical to slaughter an animal?
For food for me to eat. That's my ethical standpoint on that.
We just went over this, sir. I just explained to you that you don't have to eat it, and just because you can doesn't mean you should.
I don't
what
have to eat
advice-
vegetables, beans, and pasta, but that doesn't mean I should and should not have to just because it's more ethical for.
Yeah. Have a good day, sir. You cannot debate. You don't know what logic is. Next.
Okay. Why is eating meat unethical to you?
Because it's causing excess suffering and harm for no good reason.
Okay. Do you think that human beings are animals?
Yeah.
Okay, so what difference does it make if we eat animals and animals were to eat us?
Did you know that animals eat their own shit? Should
Okay,
we
and
eat our
that's
shit?
not-
Should we
That's
eat
not
our
what I asked. I asked, why is it okay?
ma'am, should we eat our own shit too, like the animals do? Yummy, tastes like shit. Should we do that?
I want it, but if you want to, you can go ahead.
Well, this is your logic, right? You just said, but the animals do it. The animals do it. Does that mean we have to follow everything the animals do? No, this is an appeal to nature fallacy.
The point is that this is the cycle of life, and
No,
there's
it
an
is not.
ethics.
No,
has
it is
nothing
not.
to do
No, it
with
is not. It is not the cycle of life to stuff animals in gas chambers when you can easily eat something like a plant-based product. It is not the cycle of life to stuff animals in these tiny cages where they can't move, they can't breathe. That is not the cycle of life. And that is not needed and is unnecessary, and it is abuse and suffering. What justifies that?
Okay, so let me ask you a question. How do you imagine people from the very beginning of time, considering you believe in evolution, how do you think that they ate food? What do you think they did?
They hunted. But guess what, man? We're not cavemen anymore, are
Okay,
we?
so what difference does it make if we have a grocery store or not?
Because we have choices today. In the modern age, we have choices. And with choices comes responsibility to make the right choice. Do you agree?
Okay, but how do you decide what is ethical and what is not ethical?
Based
What
on the
is
consequences to those actions. If I punch you in the face, I know it hurts. just like the animals. We punch a dog in the face, we know it cries. Just like cows and pigs and chickens, they're animals with sentience, with consciousness, with rights, with intelligence, with compassion, with love, with friends and family, just like we do. There is no distinguishing factor between us and animals morally that justifies killing them. What justifies slaughtering these poor innocent babies?
Well, let me pose the question then. If I were to go outside and I were to hunt a deer, I were to shoot a deer, and I ate it, would that be bad?
Yes, because
Because
that
there's no.
animal suffered because you intentionally caused harm to the
Wait,
poor
wait, wait,
animal
wait,
that did
wait,
not
wait.
have to die.
How is that suffering?
Because you shot it in its body, and
What?
that's dying, and that's death. And in death, taking life away is bad, is it not?
Not all the time. No, there's nuance
Okay.
to that.
So what justifies slaughtering an animal that did not have to die?
Just the simple fact that I think that human beings are more intelligent than animals, and we have the right to do that.
Okay. So what if
Like,
there's
I mean, if
okay, great,
we were out in the wilderness
ma'am,
and there was a bear that was hungry, what do you think's
ma'am,
going to stop it from eating us?
ma'am. I'm not saying we're in the wild. We're not in the wild, clearly. And if I was in the wild, I would defend myself. But unfortunately, what you just said has justified eating babies because babies are not as intelligent as me. Does that justify killing babies?
Babies are human beings.
Okay, great. So how about pigs? Pigs are smarter than babies. Did you know that?
Pigs are not human beings.
Great. So what justifies killing pigs if they're smarter than babies?
I'm saying that human beings, in my opinion, are of higher importance than animals.
I agree with you there, man, but that doesn't justify killing animals when it's not necessary. Do you agree that it's wrong to kill dogs?
Yeah, I do.
Great. So you agree that it's wrong to kill dogs, but they're not humans, right? So you obviously think that animals should have rights. So
Well, I
what's
don't
the
eat
difference
dogs
between a dog? What's the difference between a dog and a cow that justifies killing the cow?
because I don't eat dogs. I eat cows.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry, that's not a justification. You're saying you're just stating something. I'm asking you what ethically justifies killing cows when you still think it's wrong to kill dogs, but there's no difference between the two.
There is a difference because I don't eat dogs. I
What's
don't
the
have a reason
wait?
to
No,
kill them.
look. I know you don't eat dogs, but the problem is you're saying that there's something about the cow that means we ought to kill it. So what's that trait? Can you name the trait that the cow has or that the dog has that the cow doesn't have that justifies killing the cow but not the dog?
Well, I mean, I've never eaten a dog, so I justify killing cows because cows taste good.
Okay. What if people tasted good? Could we kill people?
No, because I think human beings, like already said before, are
Okay.
over
What if a
animals.
dog tasted good? Could I eat a dog just because it tastes good?
Yeah, there's people in other cultures who do.
No, I'm asking you. Do you think it would be okay to kill a dog just because it tastes good?
I mean, I wouldn't kill my own dog, but if I didn't have any sort of relationship with that dog and I had nothing else to eat, then sure, why not?
No, that's not analogous. I understand that if I was in a survival situation, I would eat anything I could, but we're not in a survival situation. You are in a situation where you have air conditioning, you have electronics, you have light. You don't have to kill a dog. So, in this situation where you don't have to kill the dog, would it be justified to do so just because I thought it tasted good?
I would if it was not my pet or anybody else's pet.
Okay, so you would go up to a random dog on the street and kill it because it tasted good.
I mean, if I knew it tasted good and it didn't belong to anybody, then sure, why not?
Okay. So you think it's okay to kill dogs and eat them, right? So why is it okay? So now you're saying it's okay to kill dogs. How about babies? Is it wrong to kill babies too?
Like human babies?
Yeah, human babies.
Yes, because they are human.
Okay, great. So what's the difference between the baby and that dog that justifies killing that the dog?
Because I think humans are more important than animals.
In what way?
Well, I mean, it's hard for me to explain it to you because you don't believe in God, but I believe that humans are superior to animals.
In what way? What's the morally relevant difference between between dogs and people that justifies killing the dog?
I already told you that I would kill the dog if it didn't belong to somebody.
Look, you're not keeping up with the logic, right? It seems like you're incapable of doing so. I'm asking you a very simple question. You're saying it's okay to kill a dog, and I'm saying why, and you're saying, well, I think humans are better. What way are we better that justifies killing the dog?
Well, I already told you, but you don't have the same beliefs as I do. God
It doesn't
created
matter. I'm just
us
not. Look,
over
I'm asking,
animals
what in what way are we better?
because God created us to be over animals. That's why.
Okay, does God say you have to kill animals?
I mean, he used to when he had to sacrifice them.
Okay, does God order you to kill animals necessarily? Do you have to kill animals today?
Right now, no. No, you don't.
Great. So even if God exists, which it doesn't, you agree that you don't have to kill dogs. So why do you do it?
I do it because it tastes good and because
Okay.
I can.
So you're saying now you're resorting back to taste. Oh, I get to slaughter poor innocent babies and animals because they taste good to me. Okay. So
Okay,
what
hear me out for
what
a
if
second. I want to know why this is such a passionate topic for you.
because
If
because
you
animals
don't
are suffering and dying,
believe,
and you think it's okay to kill somebody because they taste good. This is ridiculous to me.
but
Your
you don't
ethic
think
says
that
your ethic
animals have
is in
souls.
ma'am, your ethics is inconsistent. Because you think it's okay to kill a dog because it tastes good, but it's not okay to kill a person. What's the difference between us? And all you're saying is, oh, well, God made us.
Do
Okay.
animals have souls?
Nobody has souls, ma'am. How
Then
about
then
this?
why do you care? If
If
we're just a
tomorrow, but
shell of a body, why
listen,
does it
listen,
matter?
listen. Tomorrow, if we found out that we don't have souls, would it be okay to eat people then?
If we find out we don't have souls?
Yeah.
I mean, sure, because we would have no morality.
Wow. So you think if tomorrow we found out there was no such thing as a soul, you would go out and murder and eat people?
If we don't have a soul, then there are no ethics.
Wow. So you think it's justified to go out and murder and eat people if God doesn't exist?
Well, think about it this way.
This is
If
insanity. This
no
is
if
fucking
nobody
insanity, ma'am. I'm sorry. I can't debate you if you don't have ethics. This is the crux of the issue. You don't actually
ethics
have ethics.
don't exist without souls. That is what I'm saying.
Nobody has
Can you
souls. You
prove
have,
me
first of
can
all,
you
you
prove
haven't
me
demonstrated.
otherwise?
Man, look. First of all, I granted you a soul exists, but more importantly, you haven't demonstrated that it did. So I didn't have to grant you that. But then I showed you that even if souls didn't exist, you would think it's okay to kill animals and kill people. This means you have no ethics. You don't get your
Ethics
ethics
don't
from God.
exist
You just
without
get your ethics from
souls.
what?
Ethics would not exist if people didn't have a standard for what is right and wrong.
We do
Where
have
do
a
you think
standard.
that
It's
standard came from?
our brains looking at the consequences to our actions. That's how we get
Okay,
morality, not
there's
from
only
God.
there's only there's only two options, either God, the other option is through evolution of our human history. Therefore, that would make it to where the majority of people do not believe it's
No, this is a
ethically wrong to kill animals.
no,
Which
this is a
means
false
the
dichotomy.
no
We don't
comes
get
from
we don't get
nowhere.
morality from evolution. This is nonsense. We get morality from learning about each other in our society, in our
Yes,
world.
through an
If I
evolutionary process as time
no,
goes on.
ma'am, evolution may have given us the precursors to having limbic systems in the brain and empathy and things like that. But the problem is that we get we make moral claims based on the consequences to our actions. If I punch you in the face, it hurts you. That is something that I don't want to harm you, to cause to you. That's how we get morality. It's evaluating the consequences to our actions. You get your morality by going, what does God command me to do today? Don't murder people? Okay, I won't do that. If tomorrow God said to murder, you would murder. This is your ethics.
Okay, I don't think you're getting what
Ma'am,
what my point
if
was.
tomorrow God came down and said, you got to rape and murder, would you do it?
No.
Exactly. It means your
But
entire ethical framework
that
collapses.
doesn't
Your
really have.
entire ethical framework collapses.
That's
You don't
because I
actually get
believe in
you actually you
souls.
don't
You
actually get
don't.
morality, man. You don't get morality from God. You get it from yourself. You just cloak it in this pretend make-believe magic wizard. You
Do you,
don't
do
there is
you
no
really
morality as a
think
Christian.
people are born with morals? You think people are born with empathy? No, they're not.
Yes, we
It
are
is
born.
something. No,
Yes, we are
no,
born
it's
with
not.
empathy. Yes,
People
we
used
are.
to cut each other's heads off hundreds of years ago as
Yeah,
a punishment, and we
because
don't
of
do that
religion.
anymore.
Because of religion. Your religion specifically caused that to happen.
Yeah,
Because
but
your
you're
religion's
missing the
disgusting.
point. Nobody is born with empathy. It is something we are
Yes, we
taught.
are. We are
No,
born with
no, we are
empathy.
not. It is something that you are taught in your
No,
childhood.
no,
It is
ma'am.
something that
Listen,
develops over time.
listen, shh,
Okay.
listen, listen. Humans are born with limbic systems in the brain, which have the capacity to empathize with other people and understand emotionally, have an emotional sense of the world. That is something we're born with. But this is a fact of reality. We're born with emotions. Now, when it comes to morality, however, morality is taught as, hey, the consequences to my actions are this, so don't do this. That's taught. But the precursors to morality are something we're born with. Just like all the other animals. By the way, animals have morality too, better than your morality. So the point is that you don't need God for morality, and even if God existed under your own framework, it's not necessary to kill animals, and you hence have no justification still to harm animals.
Now, I said that morals can come from God or it can come from an evolutionary process, which would be in your case.
I don't understand why that's a problem.
Which
What's
means
the
as a
problem?
that all that
Why?
means is that as a culture, we decide what is right and wrong.
No, listen,
And
ma'am.
so far, the
What,
culture doesn't agree with you
ma'am, listen. You are still stuck here. What justifies slaughtering animals?
because we want to do it.
So if I want to murder, does that make it okay because I want to do it?
No, because like I said 5 times,
Great.
human
So
beings are
again,
superior to
your argument
animals.
collapses. Just because we want to do something doesn't make it good. So what justifies harming animals?
If I am in a cabin somewhere and I want to hunt a deer and then eat a deer, there's nothing wrong with that.
Why, okay. Is it wrong to kill a dog if I want to do that? The same practice?
I already answered this question. If it doesn't actually belong to anybody and it is a stray, then sure,
Okay,
go
then
for it.
what justifies killing that animal when you know it's look, what's the morally relevant difference between a deer and a person, right? You think it's wrong to hunt a person, right?
I already told you my
Oh my
framework
God,
comes from a
ma'am,
belief
answer the
in God.
question. Ma'am,
You
listen,
don't
look,
believe in God, so you're not understanding.
listen. Do you think it's wrong to hunt a person?
No, because I think human beings are more important than animals. I've said that like 20 times.
Ma'am, can you listen this time? Do you think it's wrong to hunt a person?
A person? No.
So you think it's okay to hunt a person for food for no reason?
I said it's not wrong to hunt a human being because I think human beings are above animals. That is a framework that
Are
I
you listening,
follow
ma'am? Are
because
you
I
listening to
believe
what
in
you're saying
God.
right now? You're literally justifying murder right now.
Murdering animals? Okay.
No.
So,
Oh my God, this is very frustrating. You're not listening. I'm going to try this one more time. Okay.
animals kill other animals every day.
Okay, let me use more simpler words for you. Do you think it's okay to kill a person for food just because they like the way they taste?
No, because again, human beings are superior to animals. That is the framework of morality that
Okay.
I follow.
Ma'am, please listen this time. This is why this has been such a terrible conversation with
You're
you.
not
You really
understanding.
are not a good
You
sport at
don't
all. You're
have the
really not a good
same
sport.
morale
So
that I
I'm gonna
do.
try this one more
That's
time with
why
you,
you're not
okay?
getting it.
I'm gonna try this one more time with you. Do you think it's wrong to kill a person for food as a hunter? Do you think it's wrong to hunt a person? Yes or no? And please unmute your mic now. Just please answer yes or no. Is it wrong to kill a person for food?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. Is it wrong to kill a deer for food? No.
No.
Right? Okay, great. So now you're saying that it's okay to kill a deer for food, but wrong to kill a person for food.
Yes.
So what is the distinguishing factor between us? Exactly.
I already told you. I think human beings are superior to animals. That's
Okay.
why.
Why?
That's the fact.
Why? Great. So what about us is superior?
I already told you because I believe in God, so I follow that framework.
Okay. What about us
Where my
makes us,
morality
what
comes from.
about us,
Where does
what
yours come
exactly about us? Name the trait exactly that makes us more superior to the animals.
the trait? There isn't a specific trait. I told you 5 times
So there's no trait. So there's no
why I
difference.
believe what I believe.
See, ma'am, do you understand that you have no, is it because we have souls? Does that make us more superior?
No, I think animals have souls too.
Oh
But
man. Okay. So there's no difference between us and deer. You agree? There's no difference.
I mean, there is a difference, but I still think
What's
we both have
great?
souls.
So what's the morally relevant difference between us?
I think that we are above deers on the pyramid.
It's a pyramid of what?
I already put it for you earlier on. I said, if I was face to face with a bear, nothing's going to stop that bear from killing
Ma'am,
me.
I know, ma'am. If I was in the
According to
wild
your
and I had
according
to
to
eat
your
you, I would eat
logic,
you. I don't
according,
care. I'm
according
asking
to
you, ma'am. Listen,
you
you're
believe
you're
that evolution.
you're not. Look, I'm one more time with you. All right, I'm trying so hard with you. Look, you have not been able to distinguish a single trait that distinguishes us from the animals in any moral sense. There's no morally relevant difference between us and the animals. That
Right, because
justifies
I
killing.
don't have to, because I follow
Great. Then you
the way
can
that
see that your
God has
ethical framework.
created
Then you
us,
can see that
because
your
I
ethical
believe
framework
in
is
that.
inconsistent. Listen. Then you've
No,
just
it's
conceded,
not.
ma'am.
No,
You've
it's
just
not. It is a
conceded,
framework that I.
ma'am. You have just conceded that your ethical framework is inconsistent. Because in one sense, you're saying that it's okay to kill a dog for food, but it's wrong to kill a human for food, even though they're identical.
No, because
And
humans are superior to animals.
morally speaking, they're identical. So you cannot show
Says
the difference.
who?
Your ethical framework is inconsistent. It's contradictory.
Who says that we are the same?
You can you point out the
When did
moral
I say
difference?
that?
What's the morally
When did I
relevant
say that?
difference? What's the morally relevant difference?
I'm asking you what is. You're the vegan. You tell me.
Yeah, she didn't. She didn't understand what I was trying to talk to her about. She didn't understand the logic. She couldn't track to the logic in that argument. Guys, the point is this. There's no morally relevant difference between us and animals that justifies killing the animals. Just like it's wrong to kill dogs, just like all of you guys think it's wrong to kill dogs, it's wrong to kill people, it's wrong to kill cows and pigs and chickens too. There's no difference, and you can't point it out. Nobody can point out the morally relevant difference. It doesn't exist. You guys cannot follow logic. If you're saying that I lost, you can't follow logic because she has not been able to point out the difference. Her ethical framework has collapsed. It's contradictory. Hey, what do you got?
So I like to say that I get the girl's point because like she was going the right way with that, but she didn't really know how to explain it. So let me break it
Okay.
down
How
to
old are
you.
you? How old are you? How old are you?
20.
What year were you born?
Why does that matter?
No, it doesn't matter anymore. Next. Keep tapping, guys. Keep tapping, and please subscribe to my YouTube for more content. All my debates there, all my science content on my YouTube. Hey, what do you got?
All right, so we're having a debate about life, correct?
No, we're debating these
We're,
topics. Do you have
no,
an
no, no, no.
argument
Hey,
against these
listen, listen.
topics?
Stop talking over people and listen to what somebody says because all you do is bad.
Keep
Hello?
tapping, guys. Please subscribe. Hey, what do you got?
Hello?
What do you
Can
got?
you hear me?
Yeah, how old are you?
19.
Great. What's your argument today?
2000s and today. So do you think God is imaginary?
Yeah, God's imaginary. There's no evidence for it.
Okay, so how do you know he's imaginary though?
There's no evidence for it, and every time we ask for it, you guys fail miserably. Your logic entails inconsistencies, contradictions. It's not valid.
Okay, but why can't you just let people believe what they want to believe? Obviously, it's not real, but
I am letting you believe what you want to believe, but the problem is you came up to my live where we're debating. So do you have an argument or not?
alright, calm your knickers.
Have a good day. Guys, we're debating, right? This is a debate stage. It's not a place where you get to cry and whine. Add ZS. Who's that? I'll get him next. What do you got?
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah. What do you got?
So my question was like, what the lady was talking about earlier, I just thought that she couldn't back it up properly. I think what I was thinking of when she was talking would be like levels of consciousness. Like a dog can't think like a human, you know?
In what way?
Like it doesn't have as strong feelings as empathy. Like it can't feel love as much as a human connection can. Like it's limited in its brain power, and it can't, it can't solve electricity, can't do math like people. Our
Okay.
brain is far
So,
superior.
okay, great. So what if there was a person who was mentally disabled and couldn't do math and couldn't do those things, just like the dog couldn't? Would that justify eating that person?
I don't know why you'd want to eat them.
This is your logic, sir. Your logic says that if they're dumber than me, I get to eat them. This is your logic, not mine.
Yeah, okay, then eat them.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this guy supports murder, guys. You hear that? Somebody call the FBI. That was disgusting. That was disgusting. This is meat. This is your bringing on meat. Hey,
Hi.
what do you got?
I just want to understand why you think God is imaginary. I'm a bit confused why that's.
Oh, there's no evidence for it.
But there's no evidence that God isn't real either.
Well, there is, depending on the claims of God. If you claim that God's all around me and he's nowhere to be found, that's evidence that you're lying. If you say that God's omniscient and that we have free will, there's a paradox there. There's problems and inconsistencies in your worldview. That's why I think God's not real.
But a lot of it's more of a metaphor if you actually understand.
Great. Congratulations. So is Bigfoot. Do you have any actual evidence of God or no?
Well, there's a whole Bible, and most of that is a metaphor in general. And some people just feel it's more comforting.
Maybe God's a metaphor. Maybe God's not real either, right? So how do you know that God's real?
I didn't say he was real. I'm not gonna sit there and say he is or isn't.
All right. Have a good day. Next. Next. Everybody wants the yes on. He's probably a child, but let's see.
Hello.
Hey, what do you got?
All right, Mike. First of all, I just want to say, don't waste your time on people going on circles. But cool. Let's go to the topic. All right, cool. So you tell me, who's more wrong when it comes to eating animals or killing animals? Sorry, is it meat eaters or vegans?
Meat eaters.
And why is that? Because think about it for a second, yeah.
Because they're intentionally harming animals they don't have to harm. That's the problem.
Vegans aren't doing the same.
Vegans are not intentionally harming any
But
animals.
how? If they're packaging food, they're giving out food, they're selling food. Their intention is to make money by killing insects, by having pesticides.
No, vegans don't want to kill insects. That's
But
not
they
what
are
veganism
though.
means.
To package food to make money to profiteer, they are.
Kurt, sir, what does veganism mean?
Well, is to I think I don't know. You tell me because you're the vegan, so you know more.
Yeah, the problem is you don't know what the fuck it is, and now you're gonna run away.
You know what's funny?
You don't actually know what you're debating against, right?
Your definition of veganism.
Look. You thought you could come up here and say, "Look, you kill insects, Mike. Got him." That's not an argument, right? Because veganism does not mean I kill no animals. It means I don't intend to harm animals, and I do what I practically can to minimize harm and suffering. I am not here to say I'm perfect, that I watch my step every time in case there's an ant. That's not what veganism means. It's about doing what you can that's practical to minimize harm. Now, most crops in the world are grown for animals, not for humans. So you're killing way more crops, you're killing way more animals, you're killing trillions of fish, billions of land animals. So either give a good argument against ethical veganism or go away. Please.
Wait, can you hear me?
Unfortunately.
Okay. First of all, it sounds like your definition is an excuse just to make veganism right. First of all, and second,
No, this is the Vegan Society definition, sir.
second.
Do you
Sorry,
know what
who's
the
the
Vegan Society
what
is?
accreditation is the Vegan Society? It's just someone made by someone. What kind of accreditation is it? It's not like a dictionary where it's
These are
actually
actual
accredited.
vegan. These are actual vegans, and
Yeah,
this
but
is our
then, but
actual
what's but
position.
where's the accreditation? For example, if you go for the Oxford Dictionary, it's different. So
Yeah,
where's the
we don't
accreditation
appeal to
to your
Oxford for
society?
definitions. We don't appeal to one authority.
Yeah.
There's no one authority for
And
definitions.
second of all, you talk
Listen,
about life being killed.
listen, sir. Stop. You're not going to come up and steamroll. Listen, definitions are arbitrary, but as long as we understand what definitions mean and what we mean by them, then we're all good. Vegan Society says that veganism is what I just defined it to be. It's the ethical stance of minimizing cruelty as much as practically possible. It's doing what you can with what you have. It's not about being perfect. This is how veganism is. This is what veganism really means. So give a good argument this time. I'm gonna give you one more chance at this.
So is there to kill someone or to kill something if you don't intend to kill it?
What?
Is it okay for something to die if you don't intend to kill it?
It depends on the circumstance.
What circumstance? Like
for example, if I have to eat something to survive, which is like crops, I have to eat crops to survive.
So meat eaters are doing the same thing, right?
If I don't intend to kill any insects, it's perfect. There's nothing wrong with eating crops.
But you do though, and meat eaters do the same thing.
No, you don't do the same thing because you're intending to kill 90 billion animals in factories.
And how many insects do you kill, and how many types of species do you kill?
Look.
We're killing a few, but you're killing millions of species.
No, we're not. That's false.
You are though. You're not killing the same insect. You're killing different species.
Give me a citation that says we're killing.
You're killing different species. You're not killing.
Give me a source. Give me a source.
But what if I really want to Google something?
Give me
I
a
can
source.
Google
Give me a source. Give me a
Every
source.
source will contradict
Give me a
another
source.
source. There's always sources
Give me
to
a
contradict
source.
other sources.
Give me a
There's
source.
sources to contradict other sources. So your source.
I know you want to come up here and go, I got the vegan, but you're not going to do that. I'm sorry. Give a source behind your claims. You made a specific claim that we kill millions of species. Demonstrate that. Stop being dishonest. Number one. Number two, I already explained to you that vegans do not intentionally kill any animals. I kill 0 animals intentionally, whereas the meat eater kills hundreds per year individually and collectively billions. Billions of intentional deaths that did not have to happen, period. So give an ethical argument here. What justifies killing all these animals? And stop invoking the insects, which you kill more of anyway, which is a terrible argument. Give an actual argument today.
First of all, I just want to say something. First of all, if you do go by sources, there'll always be other sources that contradict another source. So what's valid?
I don't care. You made a specific
So I can
claim
pull up
and you
sources
have
and I'll
given
go
no
against your
sources
sources,
today.
but you won't agree. So
You've
sources
given
always
no
go against each
sources.
other.
You've given no source to go by today.
I can get sources on the internet if I really want to, but it'll contradict you.
Then
You
do
won't
it.
agree.
Then do it.
There's
Then
always
do
a
it.
source to contradict another source.
Do it.
There's
Do it.
always
Give me a
sources.
source that says what you're saying is true.
Well,
Give me
look,
one source.
There's sources that say veganism's good. There's sources that say meat eating's good. They're
No,
going to contradict, but you're not going to agree with it.
Listen, give me one
But
source.
you won't agree with it. That's the thing.
Listen, you made a specific claim today that we kill millions of species. Can you back that up with any data?
Okay, a million's an exaggeration, but you kill way more species than a meat eater does.
Exactly. There you go. There you
Okay,
go.
okay, but
So
you
now
kill way more
just
than a
conceded
meat
that
eater
you're
does.
You just conceded that you're being dishonest. Okay, you're being dishonest and you just conceded to that. We don't kill millions of species. And again, you are not understanding. You're not able to go past your cognitive dissonance to recognize that we don't intentionally harm any animals. You do. You are stuffing animals in gas chambers. You're stuffing animals in cages where they can't move by the billions. That is intentional harm you're causing. And that has to be justified. Whereas me, somebody who has to eat something, I understand crop deaths occur, but I can't control that. I can't stop it. It's a biological product of reality. I can't stop that, but you can stop killing billions of animals in factories. You can stop that. There's no reason for that. So justify that.
How doesn't veganism intentionally not kill animals? Tell me.
Because how am I intending to kill any
Because
animal?
to package your food, to make your food, you gotta
No,
kill animals, and that's
look,
intentionally.
listen. When I go to the
It's
store,
just simple, black and white, honestly.
shh.
Okay, you can
When
talk.
when I go to the
I
store,
love it, Mike shushes me, but carry on.
when I go to the store, do I intend to buy a plant product or a meat product?
It doesn't matter. You're still all right. Say for example, in this case, you're buying
No,
a plant
answer the
product.
question. Answer the question.
Okay, so what was your question? Sorry.
Answer the question. Do
What
I
was the question?
intend? Shh. Do I intend when I go to the store to buy a plant product or a meat product?
When you would go in the store to buy a plant product, yeah.
Thank you. So
Okay.
there you go. I do not intend to buy an animal. I intend to buy a plant product. Period.
And how do
There
you
you
get
go.
that plant product? How? By doing what?
It could be a variety of ways which are not
Like,
under my control.
like.
Like there's vertical farming, which causes no animal cruelty.
So the plants you buy from vertical farming.
I don't have access to that.
No.
Right? The
And
point
so
is
doesn't
that
most
I have
vegans.
access. Listen, I have access to what I have access to. But as a vegan, I want to minimize cruelty. You want to maximize it. That's the problem. And you just conceded that I do not intend to kill any animals. I intend to buy a plant product. You intend to buy an animal product, which entailed suffering guaranteed. And more importantly, you intended for that to happen. You intended for that animal to be abused and suffer. I didn't. And more importantly, you're killing way more crops, you're killing way more insects, you're killing way more animals, period. So do you think that it's wrong to kill more animals or less animals? Which one's better? To kill more or less?
So Mike called me a liar, but he said he buys from vertical farmers, which
I
he
never
said.
said that. I never said I buy from
You said
vertical
vertical
farmers.
farming.
I
Most
said it's a
vegans don't buy from
possible
vertical
solution.
farmers.
I said it's a possible solution that vegans are for, you're against.
But that's not the solution now, is it? No one's buying from vertical
Well,
farmers.
it is a
That's not
solution.
the
It
case.
already
We're
happening.
talking
But
about
guess
now,
what?
Mike.
Not everybody has access to that. But
Like
can
you said,
answer
we're
my
talking about
question?
now. We're talking about.
Stop being dishonest. You've tried to come up here and say, "Oh, you kill insects, Mike. You kill insects." Well, I'm sorry, Piers Morgan, but guess what? Those insects I did not control. I cannot control the ant that I ran over on my way to work. I can't control that. That's not what veganism is. What means. It doesn't entail I'm perfect or that I'm Ace Ventura or that I watch every step I take for an ant or for a bug. That's not what veganism means. You're not attacking veganism. You're attacking utilitarianism, which I'm not. That's not what ethical framework entails. So, please justify harming and slaughtering animals that you intend to kill. As you just conceded, I do not intend to kill any animals in the store. I intend to buy a plant product. I cannot control what happens in crop fields, even though we know that crop fields cause less death. So please give a justification for harming and slaughtering animals that you continue to miss the point of. Go.
Mike, quick one. What was your reasoning? The justification for killing insects. Just want to clarify it.
I never said there's a justification for killing insects necessarily if you don't have to, but I have to eat something. And for me to eat something to survive, insects might have to die. That's an unfortunate consequence. But guess what? That is not intentional consequence. That was something that I did not control or intend to happen. So that is not that's not, I'm not saying I can do it. I'm not saying I can just do it standalone. I'm saying that there is a reason for that. Whereas you have no reason for killing animals.
So what difference is it me buying meat from the shop and you buying a plant product from the shop?
Because you're intending to kill those animals. I'm not.
How am I intending it? I'm just literally buying a product the same as you.
Because when you go to the store and you buy a pig leg or a pig ass, you're intending to eat that pig
So
and have it
so
dead.
if we say, for example, we stopped killing animals, what would be the next thing then?
The
We'll
world will
kill
be a
insects,
better
right?
place. There'll be less harm. There'll be less suffering. There'll be more
No,
food for us,
we'll kill
more land
insects.
for us,
More
less carbon
species.
emissions. The world will be a better place, way better
No.
than you left it.
First of all, there's carbon emissions even with veganism. You got to transport it somewhere. It's going to be the same thing, isn't it?
Oh,
If we don't
so
kill
did,
animals,
oh, okay. So here's a study by Oxford called Vegans, Vegetarians in the UK Show Discrepant Environmental Impacts. And it shows that vegans have a 75% lower carbon footprint versus their counterpart meat eater. So vegans have actually a way lower carbon footprint than any meat eater can.
well, Mike, if I find a source, it will contradict your source. You won't agree with it. It will be agree to disagree.
Go ahead. Give me a source then that shows
Well,
we
I
cause
have to
more
look
greenhouse
online.
gas.
I
Go
don't
ahead.
really want to
Give
waste
me
your
the
time
source
by
then.
doing
Give me the
that.
source. Give me the
But
source.
like I said, my
Give
point
me
is
the
fine.
source.
My
Give
my
me the
point
source.
is I have to
Sir?
look. It's going to take me.
It's going to take forever because there is no fucking source. You're being dishonest. You have not given one fucking source today. I've given multiple. You've given none. And you make all these claims. You can't back them up. You don't know what veganism means. You strawman veganism. This is not how you debate somebody. You're being dishonest deliberately. Either give a source that justifies killing and slaughtering animals by the billions or go away. Because this is not a good argument from your side. Yo, give a source or go away.
So Mike, a quick one about the source thing. First of all, you've been doing these debates for a long time, so you can prepare for sources. Second of all,
Stop yapping and
all
give
right.
the
Second of
source
all,
to go
if I
away.
stopped
Give an
eating
argument.
meat, if I
Give an
stopped eating
argument.
meat,
Give an argument.
okay, if I stopped eating meat, then what's the next best thing? We do what you're doing, veganism, killing plants, killing insects. It's the same thing, right? It'll be more on a bigger scale.
Sir, do you think it's
So
possible to
you're
eat
still killing
something?
life.
Sir, do you think it's possible to eat something without killing anything?
Sorry, what was the question?
Do you think it's possible to eat something without killing anything?
No, it's not. Same with the meat thing.
Exactly. So how the fuck? So do you see what you're doing? You're trying to make me do the impossible. You're trying to strawman vegans to make it look like it's impossible. I know.
No,
and I
because you can
can't
do the
stop
other
all
thing. You
death.
can stop eating plants and eat meat and
No, I can't. I have to eat something to survive. That's where we form our basis of our ethics. Our survival is first, right? But then we go from there. What's the best next option? You're choosing to slaughter animals. I'm choosing not to. Period. I'm trying to do it in the minimal amount of ways possible without intentionally harming anybody. You are intending to kill animals. And you're doing it way more on a way bigger scale. You keep missing the elephant in the room. 90 billion animals are dying around the world. How many insects die for crops? Way less than that. And guess what? Most of those insects are dying for, not for vegans, but for meat eaters anyway. You're killing way more animals. You're killing way more destruction, way more crops, causing way more havoc on the planet. You have no argument today. Zero. I'm giving you one more shot to give a valid argument.
So what's the difference between an insect and an animal when it comes to killing?
Insects are animals, sir, but guess what?
What's the difference?
Unfortunately, there is a necessity for us to produce crops. If we don't produce crops, we die. Do you want to die?
Oh, no, I don't.
Great.
Who wants to die?
So then we have to produce crops. And in that process, insects have to die, unfortunately, in today's practices.
Agreed.
So why do you think? So this is a straw man against veganism. I never said I can stop all death. I'm saying minimize it. So give a good reason for killing the animals that you intentionally kill.
Oh my God, it's gonna literally be agree to disagree. Because look, Mike, if I stop being a meat eater, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Let me speak.
No. So you just conceded that you have no justification for harming animals. You just conceded you have no justification. Either give the justification for what you're doing to these poor animals or go away. Don't you understand the suffering and abuse you're causing to others? Don't you understand how much you're doing? What's your justification for that?
Like I said, the same justification as what you vegans do.
No, that is
How?
It is not the same justification because
How?
you don't have to eat a pig to survive, do you?
Well, yes, I can stop eating plants.
There you
and
go. That is
I
not
can
the
eat
same
meat.
justification. That is not the same justification.
You can do the same as me.
You
We
don't
can
have
both do
to
the
eat a
opposite.
pig to
Both will
survive.
work. Both will
No,
work.
you do not have to eat a pig to survive.
Well,
Do you?
I can eat animals and still survive and not eat plants. You can eat plants
No,
and survive
sir,
and
you
not
did
eat
not
animals.
listen to what I just said. You don't have to eat an animal to survive, do you?
Well, you don't have to eat plants just to survive, do you?
Yes, I do.
No, you don't. You can just eat meat.
What else am I going to eat if I can't eat plants?
You can eat meat.
Yeah, but guess what? Meat causes suffering. I don't want to cause suffering.
How does meat cause? Well, so does plants.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it
Plants don't
does.
feel pain. Plants don't suffer. They don't feel pain. They don't have nervous
So
system.
now you're saying there's a difference between insects and animals because you're saying plants don't cause pain or
Oh,
nothing.
you're so fucking lost.
No, you are. You're literally.
No, you're being a dishonest jackass because you think you have an argument when you don't. You can't follow simple logic. I have to eat something to survive, and I'm trying my best as a vegan to minimize suffering and cruelty, which is the vegan way, period. You are, on the other hand, you're maximizing suffering by intentionally harming animals. That is not the same justification for for killing insects. Not the same at all. The insects are a biological necessity that is the byproduct of making crops, whereas the pig's ass is not a necessity. That's the difference. And learn it. Stop being dishonest because you want to beat the vegan. You're not going to beat the vegan today.
Well,
You don't have an argument, and you're being
anyone
dishonest.
says to you, it's not going to go. It's going to be agree to disagree. You're never going to agree with someone
So
that goes
then,
against
so
your
then, do
belief.
you agree? So then, do you agree that you have no justification for killing
Well,
these
I
animals?
justified it. I used your
You
own
have
logic
no
against you.
justification.
I
You
used
have
your own
no
logic against
justification.
you.
What's your justification for killing animals in gas chambers?
The same justification as you killing insects, habitats.
What's that? What's my
pesticiding.
justification for
I know
killing
it's funny.
insects?
Your
What's my
testified
justification for
vegan
killing
food.
insects?
And can I just say something? Your vegan food is
No,
actually worse for humans.
jackass. Listen carefully this time. What is my justification for insects dying? It's survival. We have to eat something to survive. Your justification for killing pigs is because you like the way they fucking taste. That is not the same justification. You don't have to eat a pig to survive. Stop being dishonest. Give an argument. Give a fucking argument. Man up and give an
Survival.
argument.
Why can you
You
use
don't
plants?
have an argument.
Why can't I eat meat for survival? Why can you use plants?
Because do you have to eat meat to survive?
Do you have to eat plants to survive?
Yes.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. I have to eat
No.
plants to survive.
You can have a carnivore diet. Carnivore diet. You don't need plants.
But that entails suffering. Can I eat?
So does your
Can I eat
vegan
meat without
diet.
causing suffering? No.
Yes, you can.
No, I cannot. Because that death caused suffering and death.
And you killing insects, like you said, the animals, they're the same. You're killing insects. You're
No.
causing suffering. You're causing habitats to be lost. You're killing different species.
Listen,
species.
listen. For the last time, you're not understanding. The insects that die are
Yep.
products of biological crop growth in production. I can't stop that. I can't control deaths of insects. You can control pig deaths.
Oh, you can if you eat meat. Because then you don't have to eat those plants.
I cannot control death of insects. Can you
Yeah, you
control death
can.
of
Then
insects?
eat meat. Then you don't have to.
Listen, stop and listen.
I am listening.
Stop. I cannot control death of insects. You can control death of
I've
pigs.
given you a solution.
That's the difference.
They're both wrong. I'll agree they're both wrong. But
No.
they both work for the person.
You're being so fucking dishonest. I have to eat crops to survive. You don't have to eat pigs to survive. In one circumstance, it maximizes suffering. In another circumstance, it minimizes suffering. So you don't have a justification for killing pigs. What justifies killing pigs in gas chambers when you know it's not necessary? What justifies that?
Same as your reason to have a vegan.
And what's that reason?
To survive.
But do you have to eat pigs to survive?
Well, you can eat meat
Do
to
you have
survive,
to eat
yes.
pigs to survive?
Do you have to eat plants to survive? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes or no?
No, I asked you a question, jackass.
Okay, my answer is no. What about your answer?
Great, exactly.
And what about your answer?
You just conceded.
What's your answer? Why are you not answering?
You've just conceded that you don't have to kill pigs to survive. You just conceded that you are causing unnecessary harm and death. You just conceded that, you dishonest jackass. So you have no fucking argument. Your entire ethical framework collapses. You have no reason to kill pigs and gas them to death. There's no fucking justification. Whereas I do have a justification for killing insects. Because that's the only way we can get food. I don't have another choice. If I want to minimize suffering, you want to maximize suffering. There you go. So you
So
can see that you don't have to kill pigs. That
I've
you're
given
doing
you
the wrong
I've given
thing.
you an option. You're not listening to me. I've given
The
you an
option
option.
entails more suffering. Do you want to
No, the
cause more
option means
suffering?
go on a meat
Listen,
diet.
listen. Do you want to cause more suffering or less suffering?
You tell me, do you want to cause more
No,
suffering,
you
less
tell me,
suffering?
you dishonest jackass. Do you want to cause more suffering or less suffering?
I want to cause less suffering.
Then go vegan.
But why is vegan less suffering?
Because it causes less suffering
How?
because we kill less animals.
No, you don't.
Yes, we
You're just
do.
saying it. I can
Less
get you.
animals die. Okay, great. How many animals die for meat eaters?
How many animals? Well, you said I haven't looked at the sources, but I think you said like 1 bill or something.
90 billion, and then 2
Okay.
trillion fish. That's way more than any amount of insects that die ever. So you're killing way more fucking animals. So by your own logic, you should be vegan.
No, because we're not killing more. We're not killing more. I think
Prove it.
vegans are
Prove that
killing
you're not
more.
killing more when the statistics
Well,
demonstrate you're
if I
killing
find a
way more.
statistic, I can literally find a statistic. It will contradict your statistic, and then
Do
just agree to disagree.
it. Then do
For
it.
every
Do
for
it.
every
Do it.
statistic, there's always
Give
an
it.
opposition to it. For every
Give it. Give
resource,
it. Give it. Give the fucking
for
justification. Give the study. Give it. Give
for
the source.
every study, there's a
Give the
contradiction
source.
to another
Give the
study.
source. Give the
There's
source.
always a contradiction to another source.
No, dumbass. Give the fucking source. Give the source. You can't just say you have a source, you have a source. Give it. Give the source. Give the source or go away. Stop being dishonest. Give the source.
Mike, if anyone's being dishonest, I think it's you because I'm
Where?
literally
Where am I being dishonest?
I'm using your own logic against you,
Where
and
am
you're
I
suddenly
being dishonest here?
killing insects, and you're basically saying insect life
Did I
is
ever
less
say
than
I
an
never
animal's
kill?
life.
Did I ever say I never kill insects?
Well, you're basically saying that their lives are less than a cow's life.
Yes, because we have to
What?
kill the crop. We have to
What?
kill insects for us to eat food, jackass. That's your
What?
justification for killing them.
No, you don't. You can eat animals to eat food. You don't need insects. You don't
But
need
those
plants. Sorry.
animals cause insect deaths too, because the amount of crops we grow for animals is more than we go for vegans.
God, it's gonna be agree to disagree.
That's not an argument.
It's gonna be agree. You're never gonna. It's gonna be
That's
agree to
not an
disagree.
argument. So you can't argue. You just conceded. You have no argument. You have no fucking argument at all.
Mike, it's gonna be agree to disagree again,
You have
and
no
you're
argument.
not gonna
That's not an
agree.
argument.
I've
That is
given
not
you.
an argument. You
You're
can't just say
saying your question is.
that's
Why is
what
it?
a coward does. So when he
No,
loses
your
the
question
debate,
is why is
that's
it
what
okay
a
to slaughter
coward does.
animals?
That's what a coward does. You
No,
have
no.
no justification for killing
I'm
animals.
giving you justification. Your argument is why
What
is it
is
okay
it?
to kill animals, right?
What justifies stuffing pigs in gas chambers?
And what justifies killing habitats, spraying pesticides, killing insects?
We have to eat something to survive.
Well, you can eat meat and not plants.
But you don't have to eat. You don't have to eat pigs to survive, do you?
Well, you don't have to eat plants to survive, like I said.
Yes, I do. I have to
No,
eat
you
plants to
don't.
survive.
No, you don't.
What?
People on carnivore diets, they
Are
thrive.
you this fucking dense? I just explained this to you. That if you want to, you just said you want to minimize suffering, right?
God, go back to. Let's speak about the elephant in the room here,
No,
Mike.
you
Like
just said you want to
elephant in
minimize
the room,
suffering.
Mike.
Look, you
Elephant
just
in
said
the
you want to
room.
minimize
Elephant in
suffering,
the
right?
room. Elephant
just
in the
said you want
room. What was your question? What's the original question? Go back to the original question. Elephant
You want
in the
to
room.
you want to minimize suffering or
No,
maximize suffering?
why are you changing the topic? Look who's changing topics now.
Do you want to?
You said, is it
I asked
okay
you a
to
question,
slaughter animals?
sir. I asked you a question. Do you want to minimize suffering or maximize
So now
suffering?
you're asking me a different question.
Answer the question.
So you're asking me a different question. Go back to the original question. Is it okay to slaughter animals? Is it okay to slaughter insects? You're doing
Sir,
the same
do you
thing.
want-
You're doing
do
the
you
same
wanna-
thing.
Shut up and listen. You're being so dishonest the whole fucking debate. Do you want to minimize or maximize suffering? Which one? And be honest. Which one? Explain to me which one you want to do.
So are you changing the topic now, or are you going back to your original question?
Answer the question.
So are you changing
coward.
the topic?
Answer the question, coward.
You're the coward. You're changing the topic. You're changing the topic.
Answer the
Go on, Mike.
question,
You know
coward.
what? I've never seen you so like why are you so like angry and agitated? Answer the question.
Because you're stuffing animals in gas chambers that don't deserve to die.
And you're killing
Especially not
habitats,
because of
spraying
somebody like
pesticides,
you.
killing insects, thinking
Especially
they're
not because
worthless
someone
compared
like
to an
you is a
animal.
coward.
You're thinking insects are worthless compared to an animal.
I never said they're worthless. I'm saying that it's an unfortunate byproduct
Your
of
original
nature.
question was justify for slaughtering animals.
I explained to you 7,000 times that the crops that we have to grow in the world are grown because we have to eat something to survive. You don't have to stuff pigs in gas chambers. Those are deaths you're causing intentionally. I am not causing any intentional deaths. So stop being dishonest. Stop. I know you want to defeat the vegan. Oh, he's a bad vegan. I know I'm the bad guy here. But just listen to me. Look at what you're doing. Look at how ridiculous you sound. You're trying to justify stuffing animals in gas chambers. You're trying to justify slaughtering billions of animals in cages and factories. Look at what you're doing. Think about this for a second. Think. Use your brain. You claim to be so smart with. The animals that you are killing don't have to die. There's no reason for them to die.
You know, Mike, you
There's no
swearing
reason for
getting
them to
angry.
die. There's no reason for them to die. Period. And the reason why I'm passionate about this is because if I'm not, who will be passionate about this? Who's going to speak up for the animals? Not you. That's for sure. You're not. The amount of suffering that you guys are causing is extreme. And you don't see it. Because you just want to get he kills insects. So, he kills insects. I got him. That was not attacking veganism. Vegans never say no insects die. What we say is that we do our best to minimize harm. And I'm so tired of hearing people use these terrible arguments that don't work. They're an appeal to emotion. Oh, you killed insects. You're missing the big picture. Guys, 90 billion animals suffer every day in factories because of you. Don't act like this is, he's being emotional. No, it's reality. This is reality, and you guys are causing it. And you can stop it. If we all went vegan tomorrow, way less animals would die. That's a fact of reality that you can't escape. You can talk about the insects all you want, pretend you have an argument, but you don't have an argument. How do you not see this? It's just so frustrating because people like this is what they typically say. And it's just not right. It's wrong. Nobody's standing up for the animals. We all stand up for dogs. I go on Facebook. Oh, don't kill dogs. Oh, you're missing dog. My dog's my family. We all say dogs are family. But when it comes to cows or pigs or chickens, all of a sudden, all that goes out the window. All of a sudden, you get to slaughter these poor animals because they're not dogs. Come on, guys. Recognize the hypocrisy here. Recognize that the amount of harm and suffering you're causing is not necessary. And you can say womp womp, but I guarantee you, if I had a dog in my hand right now and I had a knife in it, I guarantee you I'd be canceled tomorrow. You'd all be crying. You'd all be going, no, stop, Mike, don't do that. That's a dog. Don't kill the dog. But here you are, justifying killing dogs, killing animals. It's hypocrisy, and you don't see it. Open your eyes.
Hello.
Hey, what do
Hello.
you got?
Hello.
What do
Happy
you got?
New
Happy New Year. What do you got for us today?
Did you have a good New Year?
Yeah. Do you have an argument?
Oh, I'm sick of arguments. I just wanted to say it's good to be passionate about certain topics, yeah. I have vegan friends.
But you don't have an anti-vegan argument.
Hello.
Hey, what do you got for us today?
All right, so I want to tell you something, right? So you're saying that define veganism. Define it.
An ethical stance of minimizing cruelty as much as practicable.
Okay. I got you. Well, you see, I respect it, right? I respect it, but why don't you respect my choices of like going and killing a deer?
Because that choice of killing a deer is harming and causing suffering and death to an animal that did not have to die.
But you don't have any rights, though. Like you can't stop me. I'll kill a deer and I'll eat it.
Okay. I can't stop you from murdering. Does that make murder okay?
Well, why would I kill a human? Humans and animals are different, bro. Like, why are vegans so dumb, bro? That's crazy.
What's the morally relevant difference then, smarty guy?
Humans have something called consciousness, and like animals don't. You know what I'm saying?
They do have consciousness. All animals are conscious.
Well, bro, if they were so smart, why would they be out like they're living? Like, bro, you're so stupid, bro. I'm telling you, that's dumb.
This is your argument. You're dumb. This is your
Yeah, you're
argument.
dumb, bro. Like, tell me.
See, guys. This is why I get frustrated.
Like, bro, you're
Because people
crying. You're
like
crying.
this is why I get frustrated. Because this is your arguments. This is how ridiculous and petty they are, childish they are. Oh, you're dumb. Hey, you're stupid. That's not an argument. Animals are conscious. Dogs, pigs, chickens, cows, they're all conscious. They're more conscious than you. Okay? So let's stop pretending as if animals are not conscious, they're not smart. They are smart. Do better next time. Give a better argument.